people that have been coming here over the years have seen Tut Taylor doing his famous flat picking. And we've all marveled at what he's done. Larry introduced me to some of these early CDs where he really does some interesting things with the Dobro. But most of us who have followed the tradition of Hawaiians using the finger picks. And the person carrying that on for us is Corey, and Corey has graciously accepted an invitation to give us a little instruction on the flat picking and introduce us to this whole concept. So we look forward to the next hour and what you're going to show us.
All righty. Hopefully we will walk away with some new ideas and kind of a different way of looking at things. Because one thing about it, it's taking an instrument that feels kind of limited in what you can do with it because you've only got the bar on your left hand, and then replacing 3 fingers with 1. So it's basically kind of like playing an instrument with 2 fingers. But we'll look at different ways to get around some obstacles and stuff like that. But first, I just want to start out by talking about Tut and getting to know him. He was my hero. And guitar players look up to like Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that. Tut was my Jimi Hendrix. And getting to meet him was just an absolute wonderful thing here. First time I really sat down and played with him was here at the ResoGat. And we ended up becoming really good friends, and I would email him late at night. He would get up in the middle of the night all the time, and I'd be sitting late at night at my computer, and he was hard of hearing, and I don't speak very well on the phone sometimes. So the best way for us to communicate was by email, and we would sit there, we'd chit-chat at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'd be sitting back in my office working on things. I'd be like, are you in an alternate tuning on something? To email that to him. No, it's standard tuning. Stuff like that, and just kind of chit-chat back and forth. And I used to come down and stay at his house whenever we came down here to the ResoGat. And a funny story is I used to tiptoe through the house at night trying to be real quiet, and then I realized like the last night, the first week that I stayed with him, that when he went to bed he took his hearing aid out, so I could have done whatever I wanted. But no, I was like tiptoeing around the house trying to be all real quiet and everything. But this here is Tut's Resonator. This was built in 2000 for the Area Plane reunion show. I forgot to turn off my phone. There we go. No more of that. And basically, Tut wrote a song a couple years ago called Papa Don't Play the Dobro Anymore, which was a tune about basically him passing away and leaving the dobro to me, which we have here. I'm going to start out just in open G tuning. Everybody get a flat pick. There's flat picks by the door over there. I got a whole big bunch of them. If you don't want to mess around with the flat pick, feel free to use your finger picks, whatever you want to do. Because mostly I just want to talk about some concepts and things, and if this feels something good to you, hop on in and keep going with that. Now, whenever I hold the pick, I hold it pretty much in the middle. I don't hold it by the fat end because I like to keep my thumb pretty close to the tip. That way you get a little bit more control. It's easier to go faster. And I like a medium heavy kind of pick. Tut preferred a really light pick, which it's easier to go faster. And it almost, we were messing around with it last night, and it has a bit of a hoppy feel to it. You can jump around real easy with a thin pick, but I play really hard and I will snap them in half. So I like something with a little bit more meat to it. And well, I'm just going to start out. I'm going to play something real quick, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. And I'm going to start out. This is one of Tut's, I like to call it signature tunes. This is called the Black Ridge Ramble. Basically, whenever with the flat pick, you need to use a cross picking pattern, which is a combination of down and up strokes to replace the roll patterns that the finger pickers use. And a basic pattern that I use instead of like your typical forward roll, which is, I will do it as instead of doing 3, 2, 1, go from the fourth to the third, back to the fourth, and then hit the first. So instead of being, which throws an extra note in there, but when you're dealing with a flat pick, you're going back and forth, so everything pretty much kind of revolves around twos to make it easier. So you end up throwing some extra notes in, but it works. It's now what I'd like everybody to do is yes.
I thought she asked a question. I only heard about half of it.
Okay.
What's the string number she said you had again?
Oh, that's exactly what I wanted to get to. I want everybody to try and do this with me. If you got a flat pick, start out on the fourth string, the D string. I prefer the strings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from high to low. So it'll be from the fourth string on a downstroke to an upstroke on the third string, a downstroke on the fourth, and then an upstroke on the first. So it's 4, 3, 4, 1. It's 4, 3, 4, 1.
Upstroke versus downstroke. Fine.
Downstroke would be forward,
Oh, okay.
upstroke pulling back. You can get a slightly different tone, especially when you're doing like double string things. Like if you go, has a slightly different tone to it because of whichever string you're hitting first.
And then was it up or down?
Up. That way you get a back and forth pattern where you're going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that way you can build up your speed. Now I'll show you real quick. So, unlike a song with steam powered area playing, doing touch licks off of that, he would that pattern comes in after the it's kind of like the filler, and it's just like playing like a Josh Graves type of tune. I will do those same kind of patterns. To make up for the roll patterns that finger pickers typically use.
So you're always borrowing 6, 5, and 4, and 3, 2, 1.
I wasn't really borrowing anything, just to show you that pattern. But whenever I do come in, I usually I'll slide up from the third to the fifth on the D string, number 4, to slide up to that G. So you
Will the video be available for sale?
most likely I'll just put it on YouTube if everything works out good.
Okay. Just, hear something little.
Oh yeah. Another thing that I really want to kind of touch base on is misconceptions that you can't really do that. Myths that the flat pick and the dobro, you can't just do certain things. Getting into playing double notes, which can be a bit of a challenge at times. Whenever I was first starting out, I would use a finger pick on my middle finger just to be able to hit the double notes, but it was getting in my way of everything else that I was trying to learn once I'd really watched Tut up close playing to see what his right hand was doing, and I got rid of it, and I don't use a finger at all anymore. But there was a time, and there's a couple recordings out there that you could listen to me and they're, "You playing double notes with fingers?" Yes, I am. But that was because the band made me do it. They literally said, "No, you're putting the finger pick on, you're making that sound," because they wanted that exact tone for that song. But generally, I don't use one. You may see me with fake fingernails on. That's for playing guitar. I finger pick guitar, flat pick the Dobro, and claw hammer banjo. So my right hand is confused. But whenever you get into double notes, most of what just Tut would do would just strings together and flat bar stuff. Things that I've been working on. There's a song of Tut's called Oconee, and it's in the key of, I believe it's D minor. I've heard people do it in E minor. It's one of those things where whenever they sat down to record it, they were tuned to possibly E flat. I'm not sure because they weren't in standard tuning, so figuring out the mandolin player that I was working with thought it was in D minor. I thought it was in D minor, so that's what we went with. But on that tune, I played double notes, and what I'm doing to be able to mute the B string from in between the G and the D strings is I push my middle finger forward and actually into the side of the string to mute it. So I can still, so you don't hear that middle tone in there. Muting the B string, the second string, with the tip of my middle finger, which is, and here's an interesting thing that I've noticed with working with some people, the size of your hands. If you notice, my index finger is much shorter than my ring finger. And that gives me the ability, when I hold the bar, to really be able to push that middle finger up easily. Now, I know some guys that, your fingers are equal, and their fingertip curls over the top like that. Mine's not even long enough to do that. So that kind of gives me a little bit of an advantage to be able to mute that way. But there's also a disadvantage. I can't bend the string behind the bar. Just due to I've got a knuckle that doesn't like to move very well, and I can't pull that. So I really don't mess with that sort of stuff a whole lot. And so I'm going to go through a little bit of Oconee here just to show you how I do the muting. Get those two notes without having that B ringing in there and messing up the fact that it's a minor tune and I'm tuned to major. So that's kind of one way that you can get past certain hurdles. Another thing that I've been trying to work with is muting strings with my right hand. Because one thing about flat picking, whenever I first started out, I was getting kind of overtones on the back end, and I was trying to figure out the best way to kind of get rid of that. And you can do some different muting and subtle techniques with your right hand to cut back on excess noise. Because you get a lot of ring in there, but you get that hand in there and you can kind of mute it just a little bit. It's one of those things that takes a lot of finesse to get used to. But then again, once you get it, I mean, you can do a lot of different things. Like, I like doing different rhythmic things by having everything muted and doing mandolin chops. It's just really easy with a flat pick. Alright.
The challenge with that is avoiding the chime,
Yes.
palm chime.
And that's another thing that I don't get into is doing the palm chimes. What I do is I catch a pinch harmonic like an electric guitar player with the side of my thumb. So it's the same concept as hitting it with your palm to hit the harmonic, except I'm catching it right with that fat, meaty part of my thumb right here on the side. And but the neat thing about that is you can do that anywhere with the pinch harmonic. Like, and of course, being mic, that would be quite a bit more if I had a microphone on. But so, and that's kind of something nice to do whenever it's. And you can actually change the tone depending on where you catch it, because you're catching the harmonic just like the palm harmonic, except it's just with the side of your thumb.
But your pick's not in the play somehow.
No, it's the way that I hold the pick. They're just probably, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe a half a centimeter of tip between where I hold it, because I don't like to have a whole lot of pick on. I like to get nice and close. I get a lot more control that way, and then you can. It makes it real easy to catch that harmonic. It's almost kind of like I'm attacking the string at an angle with the pick to make sure that I really catch the side of my thumb there.
Can I come up and see what you're doing?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Feel free.
Or either we can come down and go around.
I can do that as well. Let's see how I hold the pick there.
Way back.
Yeah.
Like I've got mine too far forward.
And whenever,
Like that.
yeah.
Okay. And is this the meaty part you're hitting with?
Actually, it's the big fat
This
side of my
one.
knuckle right here.
Okay.
Right on the side of my thumb. Right at the knuckle. And I catch that right.
See, he's got his pick way down. It's not up near the edge of his finger.
Yeah, I keep it
Way down
really,
here, not up there.
it's hard to tell.
I was holding mine like up there. See how it's high? I'll be your demonstrator.
There you go.
Further down. Near the bottom of your thumb. Yeah.
Or you can catch it on the backstroke with your tip. It's just basically you're noting the note with your thumb or your finger. It's not wherever the pick's hitting. Because it's to hit the 12th fret, I'm actually picking right about the 11th, which makes me catch the 12th with my thumb just about perfectly. Is everybody kind of getting a little bit of the idea of the pinch harmonic? Pinch, like pinch. Yeah, for a long time I thought it was pitch, but it's actually pinch like pinch. Because you're pinching the string with your thumb right behind the pick.
I gotta see that close in person.
Absolutely.
What's the, I can. So you're holding it down, you're hitting here, right?
And I'm catching right there on my thumb.
Okay.
Right there on
So that's
the
cool.
widest part.
Okay, so then you're like, it's sort of like muting it, it's just harmonic.
Yeah, just doing the harmonic right there.
Okay, so but it has to be on the 12th fret on that, right?
Well,
Yeah, I saw you doing it up and down.
yeah, you want to keep the middle distance between wherever you're fretting and the bridge.
Okay.
So if you're on the 5th fret, then the equivalent,
It's about sitting down there.
yeah,
All right, thank you.
absolutely.
You do double string harmonics?
Sure. Oh, thank you very much, sir. That was quick.
And one more question. Hold it. I caught it now. Do you hold your pick like this all the time, or just when you kind of move your thumb a little bit when you want to do that?
It's, I can kind of roll it around a little bit on the meaty part of my thumb.
Just when I'm catching the harmonic now nicely, it doesn't look like I can play anything else.
You can.
There's not a whole lot of pick left, especially on the downstroke.
Oh yeah. But the less pick you have, the more control you can have over it. So whenever you are going, it's like I'm holding it in the same position to do both of those.
Yeah.
But the main thing that I like to have a point of contact, almost like a reference point, depending on where I'm playing with my right hand. A lot of times I roll the heel of my palm right here on the cover plate as kind of like my point of reference. That way I know that it gives me an idea where the strings are, kind of like banjo players will plant their finger down. I'm not real sure about you guys with finger picks, what you all do. But even whenever I like to play higher up on the fretboard to get a lower tone, or because depending on where you play, you can get different moods out of the instrument. But a lot of times I'll even like hook my pinky finger inside the sound hole here as a point of reference. But generally, yeah, I hold my pick right about there. It's one of the, I've never really paid that much attention to it moving around, but yeah. And I think whenever you get into like the song that I did a touch, the Goodlettsville Express, that thing is just a whole lot of sort of stuff, and you really need to be able to have good control over your right hand to be able to keep that kind of speed up, and having a smaller amount of the pick on the tip, it's less room to kind of for mistakes, because you can get a lot of pick going in there, and it can make it harder to go back and forth fast because you got more pick to move. But if you keep it down and small, I could do this all day. But if you leave it a little bit, it makes it harder. And there again, that's more of the like right hand muting stuff that I like to do. Just I'm taking my hand and I'm just barely rolling it over onto the strings off of the cover plate. Kind of like whenever doing a rake, I guess. Like Now, whenever I got a question for the finger pickers. Whenever you all do that, are you actually muting down on the strings behind it to rake it with your thumb? Yes? Okay, same concept here with the flat pick. I've got my palm laid down across. Nice. So does everybody want to try to learn some tut licks?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Good, good, good. I want to try and teach everybody no matter what your level is, this is a great lick to kind of get you into his way of thinking and to build up speed and movement in your left hand. I want to work on the little chorus lick from Steam Powered Aeroplane by John Hartford. Now to start out with that, it's going to be on the 3rd string, your G string, on the 2nd fret, the note A. And then the 2nd note will be open G string. So we have 2nd fret and then open. Only doing it slowly. We're going to go back and forth. Yeah, go back and forth with this. Whenever I slow things down, I kind of forget what I'm doing because, to be perfectly, I have to really think about talking about my right hand because it's second nature. I don't think about it. It just it has a mind of its own. I even kind of think sometimes that I have almost like an overdrive gear that sometimes you just kick it in and it can just go. It's not really tiring, even though it may look it. So we're going to go from the 2nd fret on the 3rd string to open on the 3rd string, and then it's back on the 2nd fret. So we have okay. So you go from 2nd fret to open to 2nd fret, slide up to the 4th fret, and this is all on the G string. So you got just sliding up to it. Let it ring. String, 2nd fret, then open, 2nd fret, and slide up to the 4th. So we have
Clicking every note.
you'll notice that hammer-ons and pull-offs, whenever you're getting into the flat picking, they're not as important as I guess with finger picking because you can sit here and I just pretty much pick a whole lot of the notes. I like it because it gives it a nice even attack. It almost seems like too many pull-offs kind of take away from the meat, the punch that it has. And that's one of the things that I fell in love with flat picking the Dobro sound, was that punchiness to it. So we've got, and now we're going to slide back down to the 2nd fret. So you're going to go from 2nd fret to open, to 2nd fret to 4th, and then back down to the 2nd. This is all on the G string. So we have okay, next will be open G again. So we've got from 2 to open, 2, 4, 2, open. Okay, so next will be on the 4th string. You're going to hit the 2nd fret. So to put that together so far, we have okay. Now the next note after that, off the 2nd fret on the 4th string, is back to open on the 3rd string. So to put that together so far, you have Has everybody got that so far?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now basically you're going to take that and repeat it. So you got, and just do it again. Does anybody have any questions with any of the notation on that so far? Yes.
Every strike you make with your flat pick is still going back and forth.
Generally, you'll note. Let me do it up to speed real quick and watch my right hand. I try and break it down the best I can, but like I said, it has a mind of its own. That's why it's so confused.
Is the up always on the odd number?
Not necessarily. It's whatever's comfortable. Things shift around.
But if you pick this way, your pick is there, your back is.
Yes.
If you try to reposition it this way, then bring it back over again, it slows you down.
Yes. Exactly.
So every other one, she's asking every
Yeah.
other one, probably up there, pull it back.
Yeah. For speed wise, yes. There are a few things where I will do all upstrokes. Like there's a section on vamp in the middle where I do all upstrokes. I don't know why. It's just what my hand does. It's comfortable. So it's whatever you can do fast, but even. It's just like whenever I hear, watch whenever I play area playing like up to speed. So they're pretty much all going back and forth. There's a little bit of a break on that right there, but yeah. Yeah, back and forth every single time. everybody got the lick so far? The da 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 da. Anybody? Okay. Whenever you come off of that, it's gonna. You're gonna do it 2 times, back to back. So da 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 da. Then it's an open G, 3rd string, and then you're gonna slide up to the 5th fret on the 4th string to mimic that G note. And then to end it off, the cross picking pattern I mentioned earlier is what we're going to use to mimic a forward roll, which is the 5th fret on the 4th string, followed by the 3rd string open, and then back to the 4th string 5th fret, and then open on the 1st. And that's down, up, with the right hand. Okay, so to get that from the, to finish out that lick, so we go. And do this. And then you're going to slide up from 2 to 4 on the 3rd string. Okay, so slowly, all that put together, we have which right there, I gotta stop and think, what is my right hand doing? Okay, now I'm hitting the 3rd string, and then I'm coming down and I'm playing the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. Which I've never noticed that I really did until sitting here thinking about it. So, make sure I'm teaching everybody right here. What's that? I'm trying to work it out there in my head a little bit better so I can explain it better. So you're going to slide up from the 2nd to the 4th on the 4th string, followed by the 3rd string open, and then back on the 4th string, 5th fret. So you got, and then hit the 1st string open. So it's 4, 3, 4, 1 on the strings, and just sliding from the 2nd to the 3rd to the 5th fret on the 4th string. So, and then you're going to follow that by going from the 2nd fret on the 3rd string to the 4th fret on the 3rd string. And I like to hit the B string with that, just to get that double note sound there. So, yeah, that's getting it together better. Okay, so far, from the beginning, slowly, hopefully this is right, we're going to go.
Now do that half that speed, and those do it together.
Okay.
Count it off, and then so we start together.
Alright. I'm gonna go as slow as I can. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four.
You know the one right before the end? Do you do that twice or just once? The roll?
Just once. But you'll do it more the second time around. And that's basically almost the whole thing so far. Yeah, basically, once you get past from sliding up to 2 to 4, you're just going to hit from the 3rd string on the 4th fret and open on the B string, which both note B. Really didn't have to fret if you want to. And then it's start back over and do the same thing again. So it's going to be. That just kind of repeats over, but there's going to be a slightly different take once you get a little bit further into that lick. Is there any questions up to this point so far?
Let's play it all together.
Alrighty, I'll take it as slow as I can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that a good tempo? Slow or anything else?
The slide was from 2 to 5.
Slide was from 2 to 4 on 2 to 4.
And then goes to 5.
Yes, the 2 to 4 was on the 3rd string, and the 5 was on the 4th string. And now to finish off that lick, it's basically just that pattern over and over before the end. Actually, no, that's not right. So you do that all the way through once and then repeat it. But instead of going up from 2 to 4 on the 3rd string at the end of it, we're going to stay from 3 to 5. I'll show you what I'm trying to explain here. So you go up to the 2 to 4 the first time. Second time, you stay down on the 5th fret on the 4th string, and it's that pattern, the cross picking pattern of the 4th string, 3rd string, 4th, and 1st. Open 1st string. So to put that together, it's that was a totally different last note there. That time I hit the G string last. Like I said, it has a mind of its own. I'm doing my best to reel it in here for you. Okay, from the top, and we're just going to go through it just over and over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting the feel for it now? And that's the chorus lick from Steam Powered Aeroplane.
Play the whole song.
Okay.
Could you just do the last couple of rolls right near the very end, and then
absolutely.
Right at the very end.
Oh. Sometimes I do everything a little bit differently. Like I said, it has its own mind. But what I'm shooting for is the 4, 3, 4, 1. 4, 3, 4, 1.
Just do that twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for. It doesn't always work out that way.
Right.
But yeah, I'll play the whole song real quick. Alrighty. Absolutely. And if anybody wants to learn anything else or you have questions or anything, hit me up throughout. I'll be floating around here till Saturday.
I brought freight train down there. I got offline for a minute. I was just wanting to hear either played through the first part, but I'll catch up with you. I'll be around.
Okay.
That'd be nice. Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate the help.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the one thing that I have a mission, getting to know Todd, and whenever I was working on the album, that my tribute album to him that we did together, which just still blows my mind that I got to do a tribute album for my hero, produced by him. But I sent him a copy of Oasis, which is one of the tunes on the album where I played the dobro and then I'm playing the guitar part as well, and it's just guitar and dobro only. I wanted it to be a lot like all the Tut Norman recordings. That was kind of my tribute within the tribute. But he had told me that he had waited his entire life looking for another dobro player out there that played like him. And he didn't meet me until 2010. But he said he had met other people, but nobody that played his tunes just like he did. And he told me he had waited his whole life to run into somebody like me, and not only that, but I really understood his songs and felt the mood of them. And he said I had a real uncanny knack of getting in his head. Just that whole experience was just absolutely wonderful. I'm starting to forget what I was talking about in the first place. But anyway.
Would you mind playing Oasis for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
I would love that.
And Oasis is in G minor, which you tune your B strings down to a B flat, both of them. Tut liked to mess around with alternate tunings and stuff like that. He even, for the song Wabash Blues, he didn't even know what it was tuned to. He just knew when it sounded right. I don't even know what it was tuned to. It was something along the lines of dropping the B like a quarter step, half step maybe, and something else with the G string. But it would take him a couple minutes to get it all tuned. Yeah. But yeah, he didn't know what notes they were. I don't know what notes they were. I could not sit here and tune the thing right. Mike, you might know.
It was a G string was lowered down one step, so it's like a G major 7.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Yeah.
But he didn't think of it that way.
it would take a little bit of finagling to get
Did he read
everything.
music?
What's that?
Did Tug read music?
You know, I don't know.
Nah.
No.
He didn't even know the notes or the chords.
No, you hand me a piece of sheet music, and it might as well be written in Chinese or something. I can't. My brain doesn't process sheet music. I can't think about the beat and figure out what the note is. I mean, I know every good boy deserves fudge and face and all that, but that's about as far as I got about old 5th grade music class. So everything I do is by ear.
Do you think he turned them down so that he had the minor chord?
Yeah.
Did he do that a lot?
There's a couple tunes of his. Oasis is one of them. There's a tune called "The Buffalo Left Yesterday." "Papa Don't Play the Dobro Anymore" is another one. And yeah, because that was. Yeah, I'll play Oasis real quick. And like I said, if there's anything that any questions, any type of songs you'd like to learn, maybe just some licks or questions or anything that you have, feel free to come up to me. I'll be here the whole time, and I'd love to tell people more. That reminds me of what I was trying to get into earlier before I got distracted. One of the things that Tut told me is he had a dream that after he met me, and because he had, like he said, been looking for somebody his whole life before he'd run into me, and but he was hoping that flat picking the Dobro would become as common as finger picking. And so I'm on a mission to spread the gospel of the flat pick and try to convert as many people as possible. So if you have any questions, please feel free to come up to me. I'd love to work with you on it.
Well, thank you, Corey, for sharing your.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming.
Hopefully you can inspire someone to carry on what you started.
Oh, yeah.
I see a lot of things that guitar pickers who are used to flat picking.
Oh yeah.
Would be very
You
good for them.
you can translate it very easily.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thanks
listen,
everybody.
We now have the grand